Hello, and welcome to Chapter 2 of Lore and Legend. Did you enjoy the group event? Oh man, we had a lot of fun making it and sharing it with you. We did learn quite a few things from doing it though. I checked with Chili, and he said it was okay if I shared some of the bloopers with you. Is that okay? The first one, unfortunately, it was my fault. Instead of stopping behind the barrier that the mad scientist had erected, I totally just ran past it, and it ruined his opportunity to do his great big opening monologue. Oh man, I'm so sorry, Chili. There were a couple doors and things that didn't open because of command block error, distance errors or something. I don't know too much about that. There was, we actually had one of the skill checked dice rolls that we were supposed to do, but we skipped right over it and completely ignored it. And finally, at the end, when Eleonora died to the warden, the gravestone pack, it didn't work, and the limbo command block didn't work either. It forced us to stop everything we're doing, teleport her back, and try to, edit around it or something. But it was so much fun. We just laughed our way through it and had such a great time. But before we continue on and do another one of those, I have a lot of stories to tell. So let me get back into costume, and we'll get back to Chapter 2. All right, let's get going. The circle of life, feeding cows that feed me. Oh, hi, how's it going? It's oddly pleasing to feed the cows that end up feeding me, and in return, we make manure that feeds them. It's just the circle of life. That's all it is. Well, we are back after our big adventure, and you may not recognize where we are. Let me show you what's going on. I have been doing lots of contemplating about our adventure and what that means for me and my villagers moving forward. So I have a few plans in place, and the first one required me to move my animals to a new location. Number one, I needed a bigger location, something that... Where's the door? Okay, something that allows more room for more herds, because our people will be growing, and also something that gets it out of the valley there behind our village. So you got the sheep over here. We've got the chickens over there. There's not a lot of pigs right now because, well, we recently had a pig feast. So, yeah. But what we did was move them all the way up here. See? We have a long path from down below all the way up to here. And we have moved them up here. Now, this is probably not the final way we're going to have it set up here. See, things that you have to go through the sheep pen to get to the chicken pen. And it's a little bit of a mess. But, it's a mess in progress. So that's good. Aren't we all just messes in progress? That's what I say. So, now that they are up here, we have room down below. Let me show you. We'll go down this path. It was quite the task to get the animals to go up this steep path. It was pretty difficult. I want to thank all my other villagers. Oh, careful, ladies. Sorry, did I knock you off? Sorry, Hugin. I wanted to thank all the other villagers that are here. They made it possible. The butcher, the shepherd, they actually took care of most of the animals. I didn't have to do too much of it, so that was really helpful. But what I need a room for is back here. So I wanted to clear out this area here because I kind of have some plans. I realized if I'm going to go off on adventures like I did, then things are going to be a little bit more dangerous for me, and I can't risk the safety of my entire village just because, I like to go on an adventure or two. So I have decided to make some changes around here, and I am drawing inspiration from one of my uncles. Uncle Orant. Yeah, do you want to hear about Uncle Orant? He's a fascinating individual. Let me go get some materials I need for this build that I'm planning, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Uncle Orant. Uncle Orant loved to watch people. Some days he'd wander the streets of the kingdom and watch a butcher train her new apprentice. Or maybe he'd watch a jeweler haggle with his customers over a fair price for a ring. Other days, he'd stay inside the castle and watch healers prepare their medicine or watch the armorer design a new shield. He was so keen in his observations of others that it became his name, Orent the Keen. One summer, my grandfather, the head chieftain, was leaving to inspect the furthest reaches of the kingdom, and being aware of Orent's desire to observe all things, he asked Orent to sit in his place at the head table and learn from the ministers. But this time, Orent wasn't content to just watch. He wanted to do something. So, he declared that the day after the first full moon of summer would be celebrated as the day of the chieftain's gift. You see, Orent had observed something that grandfather and all the ministers sitting at the head table failed to notice. Every Norn from the pastures to the palace worked hard every day to make the kingdom great, and Orent knew that it was vital for the kingdom to show its appreciation for all the work done throughout the year. So, from that point forward, once a year, every hard-working Norn would have all their honest debts forgiven, paid off from the head chieftain's treasury, thus getting a chance to start the next year fresh and clear. As you can imagine, Orent was very popular and was in line to be the next head chieftain, despite not being the oldest. Now don't get me wrong, we don't have anything like a royal treasury to pay off everyone's debts. That's not what I'm talking about here. It's not just about money. What Uncle Orent realized is that even the hardest working people with the best made plans sometimes just need a time to start over, to make a new plan and do things over again. Well, after the loss of our entire kingdom, we are definitely forced to start over. So I thought maybe we should start over with a new plan. Do things differently. Do things better. Maybe give everyone a chance to have more of a say in their own lives and how they do things. So, I made this. A meeting hall! Look at it! Can you believe I fit that thing in underneath that overhang? Oh, and it looks so good. And, yeah, I'm standing on top of the garden. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. There's a reason I'm standing up here. I'm not crazy, I promise. Number one, it looks amazing up here. And number two, I wanted to talk about the roof. You see, my people usually travel to new lands by large ice vessels or sailing ships. And once we arrive, we usually turn the hull of our sailing ship upside down and make it the roof of our meeting hall. We couldn't do that this time. You see, our large ship had to be left out on the coast because we came inland by boat. And it's just hanging out there and we weren't able to bring it in. So I had to kind of do a little bit of an homage. And there it is, an homage to our sailing ship. Doesn't look exactly the same, but it has the kind of the same shape to it. I think it looks really good. It blends in with everything here, and I just love it. Let me get down, and I'll try to explain some more of what's going on. Let's see if I can do this without falling. Oh, there we go. I'm jumping from roof to roof. Oh, I still fell off after all that. What a mess. Okay, here it is. I think it looks so good. And then, why did we make a meeting hall? Do I just want a place for everybody together? No. Today, we are going to talk about politics. That's right. The reason you all tune into this channel, politics, right? You all want to hear my view on politics, and that's just why you're here, politics. Yeah? Great. Well, it is your lucky day, because in here is the main table. Just like in my grandfather's day and his hand-picked counselors, we have the main table where we are going to have a council that helps lead our people. And I think it turned out beautiful in here. We have so many of the things that we found once we arrived in this land as decorations around. We have these banners which turned out beautifully. See, that is the symbol of the High Chieftain. Now, we don't really have a High Chieftain. I mean, I think I'm supposed to be the High Chieftain, but come on. Look close in these eyes. Do you see wisdom and leadership? Or do you see a crazed desire to wonder? Yeah, that's what I thought. So, but we wanted to bring a little bit of the old land here, since our people are no longer, gathered together in the mighty Norn kingdom, and we are kind of just here in the remnants of what is left. We wanted to bring a little bit here. So there we go. There's the banners, and here is the table. And then the question is, who's going to be the council? Well, that is an excellent question, because I have no idea. I have no idea for a very good reason. And that's because we are going to hold an election. That is right. The very first ever Norn election. As long as I can remember, and this makes sense because he's my grandfather, we've had a head chieftain over all the Norn people. But if you look at our history, before the head chieftain brought all the clans together, every clan had their own mini head chieftain. And that's just the way things have always been. Well, I want to change things up. I want the people to have a say in who leads them. And not just because, my grandfather was the head chieftain, which is a terrible reason. I wasn't trained to do this. So I'm going to put up some ballot boxes, and we're going to let people pick. Now, I may get to be one of the counselors, maybe not. I have 6 chairs in there, so there'll be 5 counselors. And 1 chair will be for, whoever is coming to bring a petition before the council or bring advice or information. And the other chair at the head will be for the head counselor, who doesn't have any stronger, hold more position. He'll just be more responsible for maintaining the day-to-day information and making sure all of the things that need to be brought before the council are indeed brought before the council. Sound good? Okay. The other thing I've been thinking about since I came back from our dangerous adventure is that I never would have made it through without my friends that were there. And I feel like we need to find a way to be more connected with them. And if you see over here, actually, we have a gift that came. You want to take a guess? Take a look. Okay, before I say, guess, who left this gift? That's right, Eleonora. She left a gift for us, a very colorful gift with some delicious cake. Let's eat a little bit right now. Woo! Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, so I want to find a way that we can trade or send messages or send packages or whatever it is we need to do to communicate with each other in a more easy way. So that if anything comes up and we need help from each other or we need to be trading any items with each other, we can do that in an easy fashion. All right? So I have kind of come up with 4 possible methods we can do this. And let me go through them real quick and we can decide maybe what would be best. No surprise here. Idea number 1 is a boat. Now, as you can see, these boats have a storage compartment in them. They're perfect. They can carry things all over the place. But I don't really want one of my villagers to always have to be traveling and carrying items around the continent. And I don't want to be doing it. So I've kind of come up with an idea that I think will work well. I believe we can ask Gage to find a way to automate these so they can travel around. I don't know if you remember, but I mentioned that my cartographer was going to be working on a map that all of my friends can have so that we can know where we are. And in that map, you will see eventually that there are waterways connecting all of our villages. Now, I don't know where Storm lives. I'm not quite sure if he has a place, but we'll connect all the other ones, and so a boat would be a very good way to get around, but we do need to automate it. So hopefully we can ask Gage to help out with that. I don't know if we're going to add a motor or if maybe he has just some method of propelling it from underneath. I'm not quite sure what would work best, but that is idea number 1. Idea number 2 involves this lovely gentleman right here. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's an obvious choice for a package carrier. He's always wandering around. Him and his brothers are all over the continent, and they are carrying packages already of their items for sale, and they'd be perfect for this. There's only one problem. They're expensive. Have you ever asked a wandering trader to carry something for you? They charge an arm and a leg. I mean, sometimes literally. They sell the weirdest things, but I don't know if we can afford them. So if we're going to end up trying to use the traders to carry our packages around the continent, we're going to have to strike some kind of a contract or an agreement with them so that we can actually afford their services and make them work for us in a timely fashion that doesn't break the bank. Okay? Well, that is idea number 2. Now, idea number 3 is a weird one. You can probably guess, but just okay, hang on. Stay with me for a moment. Have you ever seen birds carry messages back and forth? You know, you put a little piece of paper to their claw and they fly to a destination and they come back. You ever heard of that? I think carrier pigeons do it all the time, and some other birds have been able to do it. Well, these birds are all over this area. We live in this jungle biome, and I'm always seeing birds. There's another one. I'm always seeing these birds flying around all over the place. And guess what? They're trainable. You can totally make them pets and train them. So I was thinking, what if we had them carry messages for us? Now, messages is good, but we need more than messages. We actually need to have packages and crates of items to go back and forth. So, what if we asked our friend Eladrium if he could make some kind of a potion or a gem or an edible item that could allow these birds to have super strength to carry these packages around? That's like a good idea? It's either a good idea or a terrifying idea. Birds able to carry like a human being across the island? That may not be the best idea, so maybe we'll workshop this one with Eladrium a little bit if we go this direction. But this is idea number 3. And the last idea is our stinkiest. This little donkey is stinky. Shoo! Way stinkier than these cows, but is perfectly built for this purpose. I mean, look at this. Look how much storage room this donkey has. And not only that, but you can train this donkey to follow the walking paths around the continent and make his way from place to place delivering items. I gotta be honest, this is kind of the perfect option as far as almost no training needed, no special potions or things made. It's kind of purpose built for this. But, I mean, the smell. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. I know. I can hear you all now, days before you even seen the episode, saying, but Adequate, how are you going to pick? There's so many good ideas. Or the other half of you saying, what about pandas? Or mine carts? There's so many other good options. Have you forgotten about them? Well, fortunately, I don't have to pick, and neither do you. So how are we going to decide? Welcome to the all-in-one handy-dandy altar of remembrance. It slices, it dices, it does your taxes, it watches your children, it does it all. Yes, that's right, I said it does it all. It can tell you the odds of success and failure, and it can help you choose between multiple items. Let me show you how it works. If you remember, when you're picking between what's going to succeed or not, in the success chest will be one number, and the failure chest will be the other. And then whichever one is higher is going to determine whether you succeed or fail. Well, this time we're only going to worry about what's in the succeed chest. And we're going to go with whatever number comes up. So if it's 1 through 5, it'll be the stinky, smelly donkey. Yeah. And if it's going to be a 6 through 10, then we'll go with the super expensive wandering trader system. If it's 11 through 15, the mechanical boat that'll be hopefully designed by Gage. And then if it's 16 through 20, we'll go with the possibly man carrying away giant birds or something. Every choice sounds good. I wish we could do them all, but we can't. We can't. All right. Drum roll, please. And here we go. All right. And the number is 18. We're going with the birds. Oh my goodness. Oh man, carrying birds are going to be flying around our server before you know it. I don't know if they'll be big. I don't know if they'll be small. I have no idea how they're going to work. We'll have to talk to Eladrium. Hopefully he can figure it out for us. But hey, you know, that's something different, right? I also went ahead and made the ballot box so that everyone can vote. I'm not quite sure if they understand how to do this, so I'm going to lead things off with a vote of my own so they can see how it's done. I have Hugin and Moon in here, keeping watch, making sure that everything is on the up and up. And here we go. Very simple ballot box. You just nominate a Norn that you want to represent you at the main table. I went round and round. I thought about nominating myself, but just be honest, I'm doing this so I don't have to do this. So let's not vote for ourselves. I chose to go with Kel. I don't know if you remember, Kel is one of our farmers here that takes care of the crops. And I have to tell you, if you're willing to touch those icky, sticky crops just to be able to help our society and help the animals grow, then you are a special kind of person in my book. So I think Kel will be the perfect person to represent me and the rest of us at the main table. Okay? Well, all right. That's been a busy day. I think that's about it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you next time, and we hope that you found it adequate.